Don't let the noise of
What is
others' opinions
good?
drown out your own inner voice. Most
Everybody,
important, have the courage to follow your heart
let's
and
get in the
intuition.
cardio.
They somehow already know what you truly want to become.
I was the lowest form on earth.
Get in the
No
cardio.
talent, no ability to learn.
Plus motivation.
And I literally know what it is to be rock bottom
No
and to
more
build that up.
excuses.
People are time wasters, and the great majority of people have no goals, they have no priorities, they have no plans, they have no concern about becoming successful, and they think that you're the same. They think because their time isn't worth anything, that your time isn't worth anything also.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today, because you need to have a hierarchy of improvement. You need to be aiming for something, and that means you're going to be lesser than people who've already attained along that dimension.
Yes.
And that can give rise to envy. And so the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self.
How am I able to just extract dopamine, the good dopamine whenever I want? Man, I've trained 99% of my life alone. No one pat me on the back. I did all of the work alone. And while I'm still hard on myself, I know what I did.
Like, well, personal responsibility is to compete with yourself, is to be slightly better than yourself the next day.
Yes.
And it's better in some way that you can actually manage it. That's humility. It's right. Like, well, I'm a flawed person. I've got all my problems. Could I be as good as person X? It's like not the right question. The right question is, could you be slightly better tomorrow than your currently flawed self? And the answer to that is, if you have enough humility to set the bar properly low, then you could be better tomorrow than you are today.
It's easy to fight when everything's right, when you're mad at the thrill and glory. It's easy to cheer when victory is near and wallow in guilt instead of glory. It's a different song when everything's wrong, when you're feeling infernally mortal,
Excuse
when
me.
it's 10 against 1.
Let's get in the cardio.
Buck up, little soldier. It's
60
your
minutes.
Carry on, carry on. There isn't much punch in your
60
blow.
minutes.
You're glaring and staring and day out blind. You're muddy and bloody, but never mind. Carry on, carry on. You haven't been a ghost of a show. It's looking like death, but while you have a breath,
John Paul,
carry on, my son. Carry
hope
on.
you're doing very well.
I say chase your dreams, man.
Thank you for popping
Do
in.
that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you,
If
man.
you've not
makes you
subscribed,
trip.
please
You can't
subscribe.
quit thinking about it.
Truly,
You always, that
Truly.
thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the
Appreciate your
night, you got a
support.
new idea.
in advance.
That's what you got to chase. Because anything else,
Appreciate you.
it's going to disappoint you. You're going to forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're going to forever be miserable, man.
You're born with a gift. If not that, then you get good at something along the way. And what you're good at, you don't take
Appreciate
for
you,
granted.
John Paul,
You don't
for
betray it.
giving me a good one.
What if you do betray your gift?
And you betray yourself.
Our minds are very similar to circuit breakers. When they blow, you got to figure out what it is. Sometimes you just add too much to your plate. Go back in your mind and figure it out.
The biggest single obstacle to success is
Thank
the
you
fear
so
of failure.
much, John Paul.
The antidote to the fear of failure is the habit of courage. And
Hope
what
you
we
have a
know is that
good
you
one.
need two types of courage to succeed.
Stay
The first
blessed.
type of courage is the courage
Stay
to begin.
dangerous.
It's the courage
Stay
to
working.
launch with no guarantees of success.
I'm gonna keep on
Someone
keeping
once
on.
said that if all obstacles must first be removed, nothing will ever get done.
We have the ability to go in such a space. If you're willing to suffer, and I mean suffer, your brain and your body, once connected together, can do anything.
Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
The best thing that happened to me, no one helped me. No one felt sorry for me. I had to figure out I wasn't going to be a punk kid all my life. So the only way I could turn around was to suffer. I had to build calluses in my brain the same way I built calluses on my hands.
When I said I wanted to win a gold medal, it's basically half
Appreciate
the people
that,
in the swimming world thought I was
John Paul.
absolutely crazy, and
Truly
nobody
do.
could ever do something like that. But for me, I
Thank
was
you.
somebody
Thank
who
you so
believed in
much.
somebody who believed in the process.
Thank you so
of getting
much.
there. I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight.
For me to become
Doing
the man I
60
wanted to
minutes
become,
cardio
I saw myself as
while
the biggest
streaming for the
person God
next
ever created.
18 days
But I never blamed God
on
for
my
what
way
he did
to
me. So I wanted to
4,000
change
watch
that
hours.
to be the hardest man ever
Oh.
created. Am I that? I don't know, but you had to have a goal.
yeah, it's most
And my
hours
goal
ahead
when I was sitting there, not going to
to
school, being bullied, having no self-esteem, my
unlock
goal was the only person that can turn this
membership
person around
so I can
is
have
me. The only way I
all
can turn
those
around is put
who
myself
really,
through the
really
worst
want to,
things possible
support
a human
me.
being can ever do.
so I can just
And that'd
connect
be
with
the
them
only way that I can build this strength
exclusively.
to handle anything that comes in front of me.
Appreciate you,
Callous
John
in my
Paul.
mind.
Absolutely incredible. There's nothing better than standing on the podium listening to your national anthem play after you've just won a gold medal. But for me, I'm somebody who I knew that I had 7 other events after the first day. So I have to throw that in the back of my head. I got to throw that race out. I have to make sure I'm eating the right amount. I'm sleeping the right amount. My body is as fresh as I can possibly
Hope
be.
you're
So that
doing
means
very well.
sitting in an ice tank, getting massages,
Yes,
getting
John Paul,
stretch,
I'm live
all of these small things
around this
end up
time.
adding up to the major
Every day.
end result. Dream big dreams. Develop a
Every
vision
day.
of
I
yourself.
don't know if you're able
Happy,
to see
healthy, wealthy, thin.
the thumbnail.
Imagine that you have no
That
limitations.
today's day number
Imagine
5.
that you have all the time and all the money and
The
all the friends and
goal
all the
is
contacts and all the education, all the experience,
18
and that you could be or have or do
straight
anything you
days
want in life. If you
of
could,
60-minute
what would it be?
cardio while
If your life were
streaming,
perfect in 5 years,
you know,
what would it look
questions
like?
or
How
whatever,
much would you be earning? How
and
much would you
also
be worth?
motivation
What kind
in
of
the
a family
background.
life would you have? What kind of
So-
health would you have? What kind of car would you be driving?
I can
What
definitely
would your
guarantee
life be
you
like if you
next
could
18
wave a
days.
magic wand and make it
And
perfect
hopefully,
in every way? We live
as
in an
you
external
know, the 18
world.
days,
Everything
as I'm
is
proceeding
you
in
got to
that
see it, touch it.
18
It's
days,
external.
you know, who
If
I'm
you
going to
can
be
for
becoming,
the
I
rest
will
of your
also
life,
take it,
live inside
you know,
of
further
yourself.
than
You got to take everything and throw it away.
the 18 days.
You have to
So,
believe in one thing, and
Thank
that
you
is
so
yourself.
much.
There's no luck in this game,
Thank
man. Maybe
you.
look at
Thank
luck,
you so much.
but the luck
John
happens
Paul,
after you
truly
bust your
appreciate
ass.
you
And
and
put
for
yourself
encouraging
in that
others to
lucky
subscribe.
situation. Luck
I
doesn't
thank
happen.
you.
You put yourself in that
Definitely.
situation where luck might happen.
Next
And that's what people
milestone
don't know. If you believe
is
it,
4,000
if
watch
you
hours.
really believe that you can
You
be
know,
something,
Subscribers,
that
they can
little
come
voice
as they
in your
come,
head
but
saying,
I just want to
"Hey,
maximize
you got
on
talent,
the watch hours
you can do
as
this,"
things stand.
and
And
follow that voice.
you know, the real
Everybody just
followers,
wants to be comfortable.
they're like John
Everybody
Paul,
wants to sit like, I don't want
I
to
can
go
get
outside
them on the
school.
way.
I don't want to do this. It's hot.
You know,
But
as
you
I
gotta do things that you don't
put
want to
out
do because you show your
more
body
content.
that your mind
You
is
know,
lost. Your
those who are
mind
watching, if you
tells
got
your
time,
body what to do,
check out
and
my
you
other
have control.
content in
It's so easy to be great
on the
nowadays, my
channel.
friend, 'cause most people are weak.
And if you're not
Most people don't want
a
to go
Facebook
that extra
person,
mile. Most
you
people
can
don't
also
want to
check me
find
out
that extra because it
in my
sucks.
other
It's miserable. It's lonely. How bad do
platforms,
you want this? If it's as bad as
Facebook,
you want it,
YouTube, TikTok,
live, breathe, sleep,
Instagram.
baby.
It's the same username
I can
everywhere.
look
Demotic
a lot of
Let's
people,
Play,
most people
username of
don't
the channel.
want it that badly. That's why they always ask the question, how did you get to it? You know how
Mohammed,
you
one of my
exactly
bros,
how you-
like
how you mean.
like real bro. I see
I
him
want to see what you
almost
do
every
when
day
you're
at the
tired.
gym.
I want to see how you push yourself.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Mohammed, I'm
Get
not
up.
sleeping,
Get up
my
again
brother.
tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow.
I'm just
Get up
doing a
again
little bit of
tomorrow.
cardio.
Next day. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Keep
Doing a
going.
little bit of
How long can you
cardio.
maintain a positive attitude?
The life
Tomorrow,
you want on the other side of
tomorrow I'm
the
training in
hard
Belved.
conversations, and you're living a life
So
you hate
probably
because
not
you're
gonna
too
see me in
afraid to
Tiger
love.
Valley
Hard times create
because
hard
tomorrow I'm
men.
working from home.
Hard men
So I'm gonna
create soft times.
do two
Soft times create
small
soft men.
or
Soft
short
men
sessions. I'm gonna do a
hard
quick session
times.
in the morning,
But we
did
are
in
now
Belleville. I'm
around
also gonna
soft
do another
men
quick one
in hard times.
in the
There's a
evening.
moment
Not
when
in the
every boy
evening, but
realizes no
at
one's coming to
afternoon.
see you.
So
And that's when he
and
becomes
today
a man.
today I rested
And some
today.
boys never get there.
I know you
Stay
didn't see me at the
children
gym.
forever.
You should be
Hopefully
a monster.
you went.
He said you should be a monster.
Yeah.
You should be.
Why are you not sleeping,
ruthlessly
Mohammed?
ambitious, and
Okay, but
then
you work for
learn how to
yourself,
control
so
it.
your own boss.
And it's not only
So
expression.
you
It's
got,
better to be a warrior in
you
a
know,
garden than a
you
gardener
got that
in war. Your
privilege.
laziness is something that has to do with
Appreciate you, my
not
brother,
connected
for
to something
popping
deep
in,
enough.
and
You
it's
don't
always good to
feel the
see you.
necessity.
Always.
You don't feel
Always
the
good to
devil
see
at
you.
your heels. You don't feel the fact that
My
you're
brother's
very
live.
will die
Ah, my
hard,
brother.
that will
Everyone
die
has
to
you
get
soon.
something done.
Have a good
There's
one.
no necessity behind it. And the human animal that we were created
I got
is when
50
we feel
more minutes
pressure, we feel the necessity
of
to get things done.
of cardio.
We can move mountains, and we have
50
plenty of
more
examples
minutes.
of that in history. But when that pressure, like almost like a barometric
Ah, my
pressure,
brother, have a good one.
releases, and
Have a
we
good
don't
one.
feel the need to get
See you
something done,
very soon. I
we
know.
can become incredibly lazy because there's no necessity. So you have to create necessity in your life. You have to create the need to get things done.
Try to find a thing that you really enjoy. Try to find a thing that you're passionate about. Everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. We all live in this world where our brains are keeping us in this box. Outside that box, on the other edge of suffering, which is on the other edge of that 40%, is a world that's endless of opportunity.
Appreciate it,
But
John
we are
Paul.
afraid to go
Have a
outside
good
that
one.
box because in that
Definitely
box is
gonna
comfortable. Outside
bump
that
into
box,
you
man,
again in
God
this
gives you a shovel.
social media
He
streets.
says, man, start
Thank you
digging.
so much. Thank you
That's
for those
fun.
kind words.
But
Thank you for those
dig,
encouraging
your own
words.
path to all kinds
Have a
of
good
stuff
one.
that's
Enjoy.
And that's why I
And
started
all the best to
realizing,
you
man,
and the
like, on
family.
the other end of this is some beautiful stuff. So I got outside my box and I was, man, 300 pounds. Now look at me, I'm 185 pounds. And on the other side of the box was all this stuff. And I know it's over there until I climbed the wall.
I'm a man with a point to prove, and I will go out and I will prove it.
Here we are,
Yeah.
in front of that arena.
You know, if you have a clear, like, if you have a clear picture in your head of something is going to happen, a clear belief in that it will happen no matter what, then nothing can stop it. You know, it is destined to happen, and that's what happens. You know, it's perfect.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act if you really do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person. It goes back to what the great German poet and philosopher Goethe once said. Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it.
Well, I'm afraid to make a change, and I'd say, well, that's okay. That's understandable. How afraid are you not of not making a change? Let's make a little vision of that. You're 35, you hate your job. What's the consequence? You're not motivated. You don't want to get out of bed in the morning. You're starting to get depressed. You're getting bitter. You're getting resentful. You're getting cynical. You're amotivated at work. You're not doing a very good job. And you're starting to shrink. Now play that out for 10 years. You don't change it. You don't fix it. And what happens? Well, it's not like it's going to get better of its own accord. What's going to happen to you? Well, for sure, at minimum, what's going to happen to you is you're going to be in the same situation, but 10 years older. And if you can't get out of that situation now, what the hell makes you think you're going to get out of it in 10 years?
I had a difficult childhood, but there's no excuse for people not being able to do what they want to do. You can do anything that you want to do. So if you're young, don't give up. Don't say the world is just against me. That's not true.
And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting. Because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do?
If times are hard, good things or
Getting
bad
warm.
things last forever.
It's getting warm.
But most generally, we are in control of our own destiny.
If you will change, everything will change for you.
Jim Ron.
You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more.
Coming more.
And then he said, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. He said it'll all change for you. I would say ask her out. No matter who she is, whether she's a job or a new city or an actual person. You know, whether she's an opportunity or a fear. You know, like whatever she is, man, ask her out.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong.
Wait, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh, no, leave him alone. He's my favorite. Right. He probably is.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. As soon as these things line up, I'm going to live my life. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life. That's what I've done. My whole life has been like that. Inside of me, it has been, as soon as it's all lined up, I'm going to show you myself. As soon as I've got it all looking the way I want, I'm going to show up for you. I'm never going to get to that where everything's okay, where everything looks a certain way. And in the meantime, I'm burning the best time I do have available. I'm burning that candle up. I'm burning this candle down, and I'm saying as soon as it gets bright enough or warm enough in here, I'm going to show up. But the candle's getting smaller.
Everybody's so crippled by decisions, but you never know how the other thing worked out. Let me give you an example. Let's say you don't go to college and you start this business and you were 100% right and it's huge and you're doing so great. Yeah. But because you did that, you had to fly to America for a big meeting and your plane crashed and you died. That would be a bad idea. Yeah. Or you think you're going to go to college because it's a good experience and you'll meet people. You can meet people in a business. You're not going to know. I think people overthink decisions. You'll never know what the alternative would have been. So just pick one and do it.
And so all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I thought my life was together. Now it's in shambles at my feet. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's all right. It's all right. You're not supposed to have it together. All right. Those who go to college, get out of college, get a job, stay in that job until they retire, then retire and buy property down in Florida. That's an anomaly. That's not normal. It happens, but it's an anomaly. And most of those people, you know, they might be really good people, but they ain't got cool stories to tell. And you don't get wisdom. You don't get wisdom past a certain point by living that life.
What is that thing that we wanted to accomplish? That thing you wanted to accomplish, that thing that has been gnawing at your gut, that thing that you think you have some passion about, that you want to take a crack at, that thing that's been in your crosshairs, that thing I'm thinking about, I want to accomplish it, I think I'm going to be good at it, or who knows, I think I could make something of this particular thing. You know what? One day. I'll do it one day. Okay, that's up to you. Or, and I like this one better, day one. This is day one. This is day one. That thing I have had in my crosshairs, that thing that I believe gets me out of bed, that thing that I run towards, that thing that I want to be passionate about, that thing I want to accomplish. Today is the first day. Today is day one.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
Understand this. If you can see it, you don't have to know how to get it. Your life will change.
Have you ever asked yourself what differentiates the winners from the masses? Well, I have. I have found that the winners are aware of a certain place within. It's referred to as the higher self. And in this higher self, there's an image of perfection, which is forever attempting to express itself in a greater way. When the winner wants to turn their dreams into physical realities, they call on this higher self.
Stream.
Don't waste your life.
This
Set
motivation.
your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing.
I always dreamed as a kid that, it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things, and you just kind of, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I would imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and the smell of the arena and all that stuff. And I would see myself, getting hot, and score 10 straight points. But in the dream, like, why would you ever interrupt that? Like, you're not going to have a dream and be like, okay, then he misses his next 6. Like, it's not going to happen. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. And before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points,
Person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for the mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality, cause and effect. They're waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's cause and effect, right?
I shall introduce you to your greatest asset. And with this introduction, the master key to success will be within your easy reach. I say this is your greatest asset with which you may tap and draw upon the supreme power which created you and runs this entire universe. The name of this principle is applied faith.
Listen to this. You do not have to be the smartest cat in town to earn a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you can be pretty dumb and earn a lot of money. I was pretty dumb and I was earning a lot of money. So when people tell me you got to be smart to earn a lot of money, I know that's not true because I knew I wasn't very smart. I was earning a lot of money. Now I've become a little smarter because I've never stopped studying. And it's just really very serious information. But when it first happened, I didn't know much. You see, this 1% earn 96% of all the money. And that is because they multiply their time by setting up multiple sources of income. They don't have one source of income. They've got all kinds of sources of income. Do you want God's truth? I don't know how many sources of income. I really do not know. I'm not being cute. I don't know. In fact, I'm not really that interested in knowing. I'm interested in knowing I'm setting up more sources.
So in order for us to change a belief or perception about ourselves and our lives, we have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional conditioning in your body. And your body literally has to respond to your mind. That the choice that you're making to change in that moment becomes a moment in time that you never forget.
Isn't it a strange fact that most people make a negative application of their great power of faith by thinking about and believing in poverty, ill health, fear, failure, and defeat, when it would be so easy for them just to change their thinking over to the circumstances and things they desire?
When I wrote my book, How to Be Rich,
But you're all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You're probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again. And I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see. And then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're going to do and go and do it.
Dream big dreams. Let your mind float free. All really exceptional men and women dream big dreams. They allow their minds to float. They think of what they could be and what they could do and what they really, really want.
Why are you so focused on what could go wrong when everything could go right? By nature, the journey is intimidating. It's built in. That's how it should be. No movie would be exciting if it wasn't, oh, what if he falls off that beam? What if he falls off the bridge and dies? It's supposed to be scary. That's why it's incredible. It's supposed to be scary. You're supposed to risk everything, and you're meant to accomplish it.
The biggest way in life to fail is to let motherfuckers know what you want to do.
Never let them know.
Never let them know. So when I disappear, you know I'm doing something. You know I'm doing something.
People coming home from work late at night, doing the same module every day. 9 to 5, 9 to 5, living for the weekends. 9 to 5, make a little bit of coin, so they can do what they love with who they love. But the majority of their life is spent in a cubicle doing what they hate next to the motherfucker they hate too. It doesn't make any sense. As time goes on, the windows of opportunities close, and they look around like, man, I just had some bad breaks in your life. You know, things didn't work out my way. Bullshit. Take some ownership. Your life is exactly what you wanted. Because every day, you've had choices to make. You're responsible and credible for every single choice. The small ones that you don't even remember. You don't even think anyone else will have credibility or ownership of. Some do have ownership of them. The little tiny nuggets of life. The harder paths. The little tiny seeds that bear the fucking great oak in the forest. They all get planted one day. The little saplings before they turn to the monster. On your account, every single day, you've made the choices.
Billions of people on this planet, and you don't think 100,000 are going to be your fan? 100,000 won't buy your product? 100,000 won't support you?
In order to be successful, you have to fail a lot. To double your rate of failure. If you want to be successful faster, fail more often. You see, there's a law of probabilities that says the more you fail, the more likely you are to succeed. The less you fail, the less likely you are to succeed. Peter Drucker says you would never hire a person who has not had some major failures in life because they haven't learned anything. Stick to the fight. When you're hardest hit, it's when things seem worst that you must not quit. And if you don't quit, and if you keep on keeping on, then you will become unstoppable.
People want to work hard for a medal, put work in, and they want to receive something for their work immediately. Success happens behind closed doors. Nobody will be there on the journey. It's you versus you. No one is going to save you except for you. It's on you. You have to work hard, not for a medal, but you're working hard to pay your dues. You're putting in this sweat equity so that later in life, you never have to look at the ceiling and ask, what if? It's not about the recognition. It's not about the medal. It's about you. And you know exactly what it takes. Everybody knows what a hard day of work feels like. Everyone knows what it feels like to go to the gym and work your off. And afterwards, you know exactly what that feeling is. When you truly work hard, everyone at some point. But most people have that kind of moment once a month. You know truly what it takes. And it's hard. But if you think the price of being successful is too high, wait until you're served the bill for regret. You don't have a choice here. You have to put in the something.
Top 5% are very clear about where it is they're going and what it is they want to accomplish. And when I look at unsuccessful men and women, or men and women who seem to be unhappy and floundering, I find that almost invariably they have a very, very limited sense of direction, sometimes no sense of direction at all. You see, we as human beings are goal-seeking organisms. We only function at our very best when we're working toward accomplishing something that is important to us. And in my estimation, 80 to 90% of all the unhappiness is caused by people having no sense of direction. They don't know where they're going. As they say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
The guy walking wishes he had a bike. The guy biking wishes he had a van. The guy with the van wishes he had a sports car. The guy with the sports car wishes that he had a supercar. The guy with the supercar, 40 years old, looks at the 16-year-old that's walking and thinks, damn, I wish I had more time. If you look around enough, everybody will have something that you don't have that you want. And if you're too busy looking around at what you want, you're never going to appreciate what you have. And then you never lived.
Time management is the control of the sequence of events. And most of your stress in life comes from a feeling that you are out of control of the sequence of events.
I got an email the other day. This guy's talking about he's struggling to get up, wants to go to the gym and start grinding early in the morning. I said, when I was 24, I had the same condition, man. I had the same problem. So I started studying it. The more I studied it, I came with this crazy conclusion. I was just being a big, when I say it's not gender specific, it's a mindset. In Godlish, it means weak, soft, feel sorry for yourself. Get your ass up and lace them up.
You get in the car, no music, nothing. You go on a 2-hour-long drive. The driving is just enough stimulation so that you're not so bored where you have to quit, have to scroll, you don't want to
So the driving, focusing on the road, just enough stimulation, but then you're thinking for hours and hours. A lot of people say, my best shots are in the shower, shower thoughts. The only reason shower thoughts are a thing is because that's the only time in the day most people aren't distracted by something significant. Just water over you, and then you're thinking for 5 minutes. And you have incredible ideas in just that 5 minutes. Imagine if you gave it more time.
A person who's making $250,000 a year is not 10 times smarter or better than a person who's making $25,000 a year. Why is there 10 times the difference in income? And you go all the way up the ladder to the person who's making $2.5 million a year. Is that person 100 times better, smarter than the person making $25,000 a year? Impossible.
You just stare at nothing. You close your eyes, you stare at a wall, and let yourself think for 10, 15 minutes a day. Your life will change. That's how you get in touch with your identity, your mind, your ideas. That's how you come up with something incredible. If you feel stuck, it's not because you're an idiot. It's not because you don't have good ideas. You're not letting your mind open up. It's the most powerful thing this universe has ever created. Science cannot comprehend the human brain, and it will never be able to comprehend the human brain. It is too incredible. It's too powerful. All you have to do is let it work. It takes like 10 minutes to boot up. So every day, just get into practice this. Stare at a wall. A lot of people just hope. They just wait for an idea to pop in their head, something to happen. They're like, why is my depression not going away? Why do I feel so stuck? I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something. I'm stuck. I'm waiting. You have to put conscious effort in.
I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. And
halfway.
I just believe that. I believe that
halfway.
I can create whatever I want to create.
Do not save your dreams for somebody else to do. Every single day you wake up and somebody that had less than you ends up with more than you. That should drive you insane. Watching somebody steal your dreams, watching somebody live their dreams for you is the ultimate form of regret. Why not you? You have the tools, you have the brain power, you have the abilities, you are more than capable to conquer the world, but for some reason you're stuck in this irrational box of beliefs that you're destined for being mediocre.
A law of belief simply says that whatever you believe with feeling, and this is the key, with feeling, and the more emotion you put into a belief, becomes your reality. It becomes your reality because you will always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs. As a matter of fact, your entire reality right now is simply an outward picturing of your most intensely held beliefs. If you believe something that is positive or believe something that is negative, or as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can do a thing or if you believe you cannot, you are right.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years. And I dated at Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. And just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on. You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom. You'll walk into things with your eyes fully open. You've got to know what you're getting into. You have to take possession of your life. When you do find success, because you will, stay vigilant and stay humble, because you never know. Sometimes if you have success and it was a little too easy, it's hard to see at the time.
If you play with fear of failure or you play with a will to win, or that supersedes the fear of failure, I think it's a weakness either way, right? Because if you play with the fear of failing, you'll have the pressure on yourself to play, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're not fazed by either, right? That enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So I try to just be dead center.
Life is hard, and that's the way it's always been. It's our lot. Now, if you don't want to accept that, that's up to you, okay? But it's our lot. It's our place.
What most people do is they back away from adversity. But if you want to see if you're a brave person, wait when things go completely to pieces, when things are the worst, when your very best deal falls apart and your rent is late and you're tired and you're sick and everybody's mad at you and your car doesn't work, then it's the person that picks himself up and says nothing. is going to stop you.
Thoughts aren't true. Feelings don't require actions. Things aren't good or bad, they just are. Our greatest enemy is ignorance. To change your life, change your surroundings. Our actions, not our pasts, define who we are.
I think what makes life more difficult for people is the judgment they have on themselves about what they believe they're supposed to do or supposed to have achieved.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you can do this, then follow that voice.
Life isn't fair. We have to understand that. It shouldn't be fair. It's a trial ground, it's a testing ground. It's built to make us harder. It's built to make us as strong as we can, to test us, to drive us. So, mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. I was an underdog. We are all underdogs in life. Even the baddest person in the world should think that way. So you should always have I've never arrived mentality. It doesn't matter where you come from, the sewer or wherever you think you're from, nothing should be able to hurt you. If you believe that, it starts to become true.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be?
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. So to me, what failure is the mother of all success. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan getting cut from his 9th grade basketball team, he wouldn't have became Michael Jordan. I seen an article the other day where they were talking about Oprah Winfrey and how she got fired because she wasn't good for television. Walt Disney, who got fired, if I'm not mistaken, from a newspaper saying he had no imagination. You got to take those losses. You got to take those hits. There's got to be the valleys, the peaks, the ups, the downs.
Once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything.
Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Being a winner is a curse. It doesn't matter how much you've won before. You're not a winner until you win again. And again. And again. Nothing is enough. No one understands. And you never wanted to stop.
You gotta put your past behind you. Look, kid, bad things happen, and you can't do anything about it, right? Right. Good. When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world.
If you want to be good, you really don't have a lot of choices because it takes what it takes. You have to do what you have to do to be successful. So you have to make the choices and decisions to have the discipline and focus to the process of what you need to do to accomplish your goals.
I think a hopeful message that anyone who's in that hard period or in that start period is that it won't get harder. Like, this is the hardest part. And so if you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill. It's not that the things that the dragons are going to slay aren't going to get bigger. They are. But you become so much more equipped to slay them back. And you have so many more allies. You have people in the stands cheering for you. You have the audience. You have all of these other things that are behind you.
If you decide to go for the goal in your life, you're going to get knocked down over and over and over and over again. Every single week, you're going to have heartaches and disappointments and frustrations and setbacks and obstacles. But without those obstacles, no success is possible.
You cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. No matter what it is. Many times you say to yourself, I gotta lose weight, I'm too fat. And then you know what? During the day you eat at night, and the next day you get mad at yourself. Well, what do you want? What do you want? You gotta change something.
I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you have a lot of bad days, a lot of setbacks.
The biggest risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life. rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't. People delay doing things they don't like for longer than it takes to do them.
The world belongs to optimists. Because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will. 99% right and 100% wrong. So like they're right 99% of the time, but they're wrong 100% because the only thing that matters is the big one at the end. Like your family and friends will say that every girl that you ever date is not good enough, except for the one time you find the girl that you're actually going to marry, and then it doesn't matter. Or like this won't last, or like this business idea is not going to work, and you might have 9 failures. I think my first 9 businesses didn't really amount to anything. 9, as in the first one spent time and failed. Second one, this one will be different and failed. Third one, this is the one. And then 6 more after that. It's painful as shit because the whole time everyone is telling you, I told you so, and they're right. Today. But not forever.
If you're not falling on your face over and over again, if you're not trembling when you go to sleep with your heart pounding, then what is happening is you're not trying hard enough. You're living too far within your potential. That all really successful people live on the outside edge of what they're capable of. And it's always a little bit scary on the outside edge because we all have feelings of uncertainty. We all have fears. We all have doubts that hold us back. But the brave person is simply the person who moves forward and keeps taking the chance. And you cannot imagine a successful person without courage. You cannot imagine a successful person without the courage to face and confront their fears and to move forward.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap. That's just you rooting for you. People struggle to do things alone. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people. And rather than fighting that or bemoaning it, see it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Because if everyone else were cheering you on, then it means you're not in the right place, because it means you're just like everyone else, and that's not where you want to be.
Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Normal people see failure in every opportunity. Both are right. Only one gets rich.
Yeah, people don't know how to manage their emotions. I think the more, at least for me, the more I've tried to create space between how I feel and what I do, the more consistent my outcomes have been.
Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now, see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's going to be the same.
A blade does not become strong. It does not become tempered until it's been through the fire. Until it's been through the fire several times. And this is just your first or second time through the fire. And there's a lot of hammer work that has to take place. And then you're going to have to go back to the forge again. And it's hot. And it melts you down and you're uncomfortable. And then life is going to pull you out. It's going to put you on the anvil and it's going to hammer on you some more. And you're going to say, what? Am I done yet? Am I a sword for the ages? No. No, you're not. You're not done yet. Embrace the journey and the process of life. You only get stronger hiking by going uphill. Nobody gets stronger hiking by just going downhill.
Imagine you're in a movie. And imagine the movie begins now. And you're the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now?
Yeah.
Because you are.
Well, the purpose is you. We forget that. Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do something. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be today? Do you want to feel like a little bit? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't?
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. Fail. You're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Get up. Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is, and go attack it. And you may be successful, and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
The biggest advice I can give you right now, and this is not my words, Woody Allen told me this. I said, Woody, what's the secret to success? He said, 85 to 90% of life is just showing up. Show up. If you show up, there's a chance something could happen.
What would you do if you only had 6 months to live? What would you do if you only had 6 months to live? Who would you spend your time with? Where would you go? What would you want to do? What would be important? What would be unimportant? If you ask that question over and over again, you'll have a tendency to keep your life in balance. Everything in moderation.
Patience, the thing that goes beyond hustle and hard work, and discipline and patience, the thing that goes beyond hustle and hard work, right? Because we all talk about hustle, we talk about working hard, we talk about grinding, this, that, and the third, but nobody talks to you about patience. Nobody speaks about that patience. Because in the patience, that's where you're going to make it or you're going to break. Go do something that's hard. Go try and accomplish something that's hard. You may win, you may lose, you may succeed, you may fail. I'll tell you what, you'll be better. If you avoid those things that are hard, if you don't accept that challenge, if you don't step up and step into that cold water, and you sit on your couch and eat Doritos, don't do that.
We have the ability to go in such a space if you're willing to suffer. And I mean suffer, your brain and your body, once connected together, can do anything. I was so driven. And I'm not going to say motivated, because motivation's crap. Motivation comes and goes. When you're driven, whatever's in front of you will get destroyed.
Only way that you can prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering.
Right.
You can elect to put yourself into a position to become a stronger alloy of whatever the metal is that you're made of. And by purposefully choosing difficult things, you will arm yourself against that situation. It's still going to suck. But think about how much more fragile you would be if you hadn't overcome all of this stuff. We spoke about this yesterday. Every single person that I know that is incredibly successful in a balanced way and has a good perspective on it elects to do very hard things regularly. It humbles them. It reminds them that they're just mortal. And it also means that if the entire mainstream media apparatus tries to come down on top of you, let's say, just as a hypothetical, let's say that occurs, that you can deal with it because you know that you've dealt with 1,000 disgusting kettlebell workouts followed by a cold tub.
Right. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life. Because I've been, that's what I've done. My whole life has been like that. Inside of me, it has been, as soon as it's all lined up, I'm going to show you myself. As soon as I've got it all looking the way I want, I'm going to show up for you. And for me. I'm never going to get to that where everything's okay, where everything looks a certain way. And in the meantime, I'm burning the best time I do have available. I'm burning that candle up.
Hey.
I'm burning this candle down, and I'm saying as soon as it gets bright enough or warm enough in here,
if I'm not mistaken,
I'm going to show up.
You're my bro, bro.
But the candle's getting smaller.
Do you actually want to do this or not?
It's you.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path.
The best thing that happened to me, no one helped me. No one felt sorry for me.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown.
When life was unfair, boxing was around to make it fair. On one given night,
If you work hard enough, if you dream big enough, if you were tough enough and you made yourself tough enough, you sacrificed enough, you became polished, savvy enough, technically equipped to do things that you had, then you learned those things, and you just worked yourself to the bone. No matter where you came from, no matter what part of the world, no matter who your parents were, no matter what your poverty level may have been, may not have been, no matter what you had, what you didn't have, no matter what people had told you, didn't tell you, all of that. If you made yourself and took advantage of that opportunity, got yourself ready, you were ready to behave like a champion, you could get in that ring on one given night and make the world fair.
This is why most people never get anywhere. Most people are incapable of picking a direction and going. They observe the possibilities. They get paralyzed by all the possibilities. They refuse to move forward on all the possibilities, and then time passes them by. So it's very important that you make a decision and you go down that path. Commit to that path. With the mentality of having zero options. I don't have a choice but to see this.
60 minutes.
It will be more difficult. It will require more effort on your part. But you know what I can tell you about that? When you do the hard things, you will have a happy and easy life. But if you constantly choose to take the path of easy and negotiate and compromise, you will have a hard life.
If you're too scared to show up and you sit back at home, wondering what if and everything else, no one in hell is going to call you an opportunity because you weren't present. The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you become arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't confidence yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up?
People want the flames, they don't want to touch the fire. We have to want it. We have to want to be better. And it starts off with, you have to have practice. Understanding that you want it bad, so you're willing to put in the work and do things you don't want to do. It's what makes you have that confidence that you know how to push through. And the mentality that I'm the type of dude who gets shit done.
Failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process of becoming successful.
Bird lands on the branch. Does the bird trust the branch or does it trust the wings? And the clue, I see many birds land on branches. What I've never seen is a branch break and a bird falls and die. Trust your wings.
You get out of high school, you don't know what to do, and then you start playing video games and you're on social media. A day can slip by like that. Yeah. A day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes a year. Before you know it, you're 30.
Yeah, right.
You have your shit.
My decision was to be the best person I could. And I basically, a lot of mornings I wake up and say feelings. And that doesn't mean like, don't take it literally, feelings, but sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling. And my knees were, but guess what? I wanted to run.
There's 10,000 times more going on inside the head of a man than you have any idea. He's carrying burdens that you don't have a clue about. And he don't know how to express them. And he don't know what to do about it. And he figures if he puts it out there and communicates it, he's just going to be shot down, called a fool, called weak. So he carries it inside. And you have no clue the burdens and the hell that most men are carrying inside and not even showing you. I wish more women understood that.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail when you don't. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Guess what happens? That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. The train. I don't want to be a I don't want to be with every day. I'll start tomorrow. And that's the usual pattern in people's lives. Until you really want to do something, you always get to be a talker.
You won't find confidence in yourself if you're so busy trying to figure out what everybody around you thinks you ought to be and then match that. Because you're not going to make people around you happy.
I'd like to let you in on a very important secret I learned when I was about your age, boy. You see, power, real power, doesn't come to those who are born strongest or fastest or smartest. No, it comes to those who will do anything to achieve it.
I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that could take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. You keep going to the next level, you suck at the next level. You're not doing anything at the next level.
Hey.
So here's what that example is. Here's a human being. They've reached here. They're beating most people. They think they've reached it. They have no idea that there's that level there because there's fear. People that tell you, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You're so this. You're so great. Wow, Patrick. Wow, Johnny. Wow, Steve. Wow, Bobby. Boom. You believe it. But you're not there yet because you haven't reached your capacity yet.
The only true test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. And there are two parts to that. One is getting what you want, so you know how to get it. And the second is wanting the right things, knowing what to want in the first place.
There is no life hack. To grow that thing, how do you grow it? Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I choose to. Is that when it feels scary to jump in, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life.
Once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it, but you can.
And 1% from making that money, from being where I want to be, from having everything in life I've ever dreamed of. But it's that 1% that we sleep on. It's that 1% that we wake up in that morning, we're like, you know what? Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Well, guess what? That's why it's so easy to be great nowadays, because most motherfuckers are weak.
I set out a goal 2 years when I came back to bring a championship to the city. I gave everything that I had. I put my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this day, man. Against all odds. Against all odds. I don't know why we want to take the hardest road. I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest road, but it's nothing to be man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude, like, instead of saying, why me? Let's say this is what you want me to do.
Never give up.
What is the hardest?
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress.
Any of the
than
combat
hardship. Nobody
sports,
knows but you. You can't get
boxing,
advice on what you should do with your life. Right?
UFC,
Nobody knows what you are.
martial
Right?
arts,
Even sometimes you don't really even know
even
what you are.
karate,
You got to take your shot. And it's
even
like, as much as you want people to
wrestling.
agree and you want the people around
I
you to
think
be
there's
supporting
those are
your
one of the
dreams, and all,
hardest
it's not going to be
sports
like that all the time. You got
because
to do it alone.
Take
you're going
biggest
against
fucking risks of
another
your entire life
individual,
right now. Remember,
and it's just
you have
and
time.
them, and then
in
you
your
just need
20s,
to
you can get
rely
so scared,
upon
and you can be so
whatever
easily lulled into the idea that
physical
good is good enough,
gifts that you
that
may
feeling
have.
safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking
And
for. That way of thinking
especially
in
when
your 20s in particular,
boxing,
dead
where
fucking wrong.
they punch you in
I
the
want you to
face,
start to create
meaning
this
now
mindset
that
of taking risks and going
the
big.
I
head,
wasted my life hanging out with a bunch of guys just like you,
get wrong
and they all go away
every time,
at a
and
certain point.
also UFC,
So I'm
they
having
can
my
even
own little, okay, well,
hit
what
you
have I
with
done
the
with my life
knee
so far?
in
So
the
far, fucking
face.
nothing. I've seen what it's like 5 years from now.
I think any
When
sport
you turn
where
30, a window to the future.
When you're
Yeah,
30 and you're in this
sort of
situation,
exposed
and
impact
there was like one night
on your
where I
head, I
stay
think
up
that's
all night long and
that's a
nothing I
hard
could give
sport
myself excuses.
because the consequences
I
from
would look
that
at everything
it's for life.
that I'm fucking up in my life, everything I'm
an
not
example
doing,
that
whatever, and just not give myself
it's out
any
there.
fucking
Most of us
excuses. I'm
who
just like,
into sports,
nail it.
we know about it.
and I would spend like
Muhammad
all night
Ali,
laying out
one of the
everything I'm
greatest
doing that's wrong,
boxers
and
ever,
then I would spend the last
when
2
he
hours
died,
figuring out how I can change.
I
decided to
he
change my
was
life.
not the same in the
You
future.
only got one life, guys. Again, if you work it
And
right, you only
it's
need one.
The heaviest things in
most
life
likely
are
or
iron and gold.
the
When made
conversation was that
the reason you are
the
stressed
heat
is
you
that you
took
have
to the
decisions
head
to make
led
and
him
you're
to
not making.
having
We're all writing
a
book.
challenging
What's your
later
book look like?
later life.
What is your book
So
look
I
like?
think
Like your life is a book.
that is what I
You
would
got a bunch of chapters
consider
in your
as
book, but
the
when they
hard
close that
sport,
book,
where
how good was the book?
consequences
If your definition of success is win or
are
lose,
not reversible.
giving everything you've got and growing or learning along the way, then you're setting
I
yourself
think
up for success.
in other sports,
I really think the
I
biggest
think
cheat code in life is
injuries
just going after it and
can
not being
avoid
concerned
injuries,
of whether or not
but
you
when it
fail at
comes
one
to,
specific task. Instead,
boxing,
understanding the big picture, what your
martial
long-term goal
arts,
is,
UFC,
and
all of
knowing
that,
if you keep driving forward and
I
never
think
quit,
injuries,
in the end you will succeed.
It is so easy to beat
they
people today.
expected
They're
just
so
need
soft.
to
They have no
prepare
work
for
ethic. No one can stick with
I
anything.
believe.
Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're kind of
cricket
notifications
and
because they
rugby
can't
and all
stick
the other
with
sports.
shit. They can't say no.
There's ways to
Your
avoid
excuses will destroy
and
you and take
instead of you
everything that you
getting
ever want from
injured,
you.
they
If you let them.
very
Your biggest
slim,
enemy is you. My whole book is about
with
you battling
boxing,
yourself.
another thing, I think,
People don't understand is you.
in terms of you not being injured,
The only person that gets
those
in your
are
way
the
is you.
slim ones.
I had to invent a guy
So
that can take any
that
pain,
is
any suffering, any kind of
my
judgment.
take.
I had built this callous mind, and I built this
Appreciate
suffering.
you
If my life was a movie
tuning in.
and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be
I
inspired to
think
take risks. Not just risks
that's
to
what
achieve
we got for
success,
today.
but embrace feeling
More or
of
less,
pride and
same
shame,
time.
fear and excitement.
Again,
Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows.
No one's going to come to help